And wheels roll through the fields where sunlight streams. Meet me in a land of hope and dreams.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. It is 6:31 and it's July 8th. I hope everyone's feeling great. It's Tuesday. It came in from the holiday. They shook the tree a little bit, which, wasn't actually so horrible if you think about it. I think a lot of people got a little overhedged, 6, 7, 8 days to the upside. So it made some sense, to have been a little bit at least reduced if you use a tier system, which is what I advocate. Maybe be a little overhedged, so it gave you a way to get out of your hedges and gave you a way to, get a little honest and clean up a few things because, we were just kind of grinding. Anyway, my name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of T3 Live and the founder of Red Dog Mindset. Just got out of the sauna this morning, feeling good, got a good sweat. It was interesting. I was listening to a few videos and it was talking again, I talk about go time, and this video was talking about the 1 second. Do you own that 1 second when you need to make a split decision? Do you own that 1 second where you can control your mind on whether or not you do the flight or fight? Can you fight in that 1 second or do you run away? And it all goes to mental toughness. It all goes to thinking clearly. It all goes to proper execution. And how you do that also is by doing hard things, by testing yourself, by proving to yourself that you can get up every day and do the right thing. And if you do that, then you trust yourself. So basically there's a whole process in getting your mind right so you can execute on the X's and O's. And the bottom line is, yesterday wasn't a crazy day. Yesterday, what did we do? We went below Thursday's low, right? It filled this little mini gap. And look at that. All we did is get closer to the 8-day moving average where hopefully if you were overhedged, you would be able to, cover a little bit, cover a few of your hedges. And now we'll see if we rebuild here or not. Yeah. What happens is now you have a new point of reference. All I like to look for is points of reference so you can measure your risk. Now, will 617.86 hold for the rest of the week or not? Will we go sideways where we burn the oscillator down to neutral or correct more? If you remember, last time we came to the 21-day on June 23rd, it looked as if we were going to be in a corrective phase. Everyone started to throw in the towel, and then this day was a day that re-energized this active sequence that wound up paying us handsomely. So now we just have to see. Same thing goes with the Qs. All the Qs did is fill the gap from Thursday. You still have this V-type bottom. You have this cup and handle pattern. We're above the 8-day, not even near the 21-day. So if you were a little bit oversized and overextended, yesterday probably hurt. I lost money yesterday and then, didn't feel great. And I was actually overly hedged. But anyway, it is what it is. So the bottom line is, you have to keep things in perspective. And yesterday, there were a few things that kind of stood out. Yesterday I was playing NVIDIA, and NVIDIA looked real strong. Why is NVIDIA strong? It just did a major breakout where we made a lot of money above this 146 right there. It went to 158. It held the 8-day, gave you an extra trade on Thursday. And I just showed you how the SPYs and the Qs came to the 8-day. NVIDIA didn't even get near the 8-day. So if you were thinking clearly and said, hey, wow, look at this, NVIDIA's, acting pretty well, obviously I guess somebody knew it was going to get upgraded this morning, got upgraded. It's up $1.35, and you probably could have that on as a long. I do have it on as a long, and I have my options. Jaron says fight or flight is different in trading. Flight means taking a stop, and fighting means adding. That's not true. Fight or flight means making the right decision at the right time, listening to your instincts, listening to what you need to do. Can you reduce here to add here? Is the reason why you're in a trade changes, or is it just that you have too much on, you have too much doing? So for me, in trading, fight or flight is controlling your mind to make the right decision, to see clearly. Okay, in a fight, it's the same way. Someone comes into a fight with you. If you don't know what you're doing, you fucking freeze up, you get smacked in the face, versus seeing the left, seeing the right, ducking, countering. Thinking, slowing things down is happens when you prepare and you have repetition. If you have preparation and repetition, you see things a lot clearly. And you're not a nervous friggin' wreck with like a deer in headlights. But anyway, so NVIDIA looked pretty good yesterday. 157.34 is your next point of reference. The question is, can he get above 161 and continue the upside, or, is it going to need a few days? So we shall see. At this point, I'm pretty big in it, and I just reduced a little bit. Those on the VTF could see that, and that's that. I also thought Amazon acted pretty well yesterday. 8 days below, didn't even quite get to it. Hit 224.29. Still looks on its way to 228. I'm in stock. I'm in options. That looks pretty good. AMD, cap that doesn't that what? Anyway, 228-ish is that spot for Amazon. I would think we could see that as long as the market's not too pressured. People said, what about AMD? AMD, I don't really like, to be honest. It gave you a good move, gave you a little red dog reversal. It's back below the 8-day. I guess it could work its way to the 21-day. Some people made some really good money in AMD. I get it. It got above this descending channel here. And now I guess if you want to draw a channel the other way, you could draw it like this and say, hey, as long as it, holds this little spot, it's fine. So, hey, if you sold some strength, it did get very extended. Maybe you could buy a dip into there. If you're still long from this pro gap around 107.50, that's cool too. Tesla's an avoid. I'm not trading Tesla. Tesla is a battleground. Tesla's no rhyme or reason. It's a mess. So if you want to trade the mess, be my guest. It did hold 293. There is a big gap that could get filled, but all in all, I think this needs time. I think Elon needs to figure out what he wants to do with his life, and what the market wants. As far as the chart, it looked good here. I was pretty long, and then I got stopped out around 335, and I don't think it's worth. It's just not worth It's just not worth the brain power. It's up 347. Big deal. Okay. What's the high from yesterday? The high from yesterday is 296. So I guess if it holds 296.15, maybe there's more of a gap to get filled. For me, there's other easier things out there that I don't have to worry about news as much and banter as much and stuff like that. So, at this point, it's up to you, but that's cool. You can do whatever you want there with Tesla. For me, I feel like let it breathe. Let it breathe. What's easier? You guys see what Dash did yesterday? Dash held the hate day. Dash, after getting a little shaken and bacon from the new quarterly flows. This is something that's been absolutely fantastic. I've been talking to you guys, and a lot of people have been making a whole lot of money here since 144. We've been talking about this cup and handle and Dash and how it can give you a move back towards 225 to 257. Now you can put this here, and it's it's in that groove. So hopefully you made a lot of money there. Right now the drone names aren't doing great, to be honest. I've tried to play the drone games, and at this point I feel like I need to see a bullish wide range bar to get back in the stock. I have some options on. These stocks are still working through some money raises. Sometimes it takes weeks, sometimes it takes months, sometimes it takes days, and at this point it's kind of just hanging here. So at some point maybe it wakes up, but I don't need to sit in it, especially if I'm not sure if there's going to be like some kind of little corrective phase, which maybe we're in, maybe we're not. Bottom line is though that that looks fine. It's not special. It's fine. When it's special and you get an igniting bar and it goes, I'll be in both. What do I think of Google? I think Google still looks all right. I'm still in the stock. I'm still in options. I'd like to see it hold this 175.68. Perhaps a little bull flag here to continue. It's not great, but I do think people are warming up to this, and it's in a better trend. So that's cool. Yes, Oklo looks good too. I tweeted to you guys on Thursday that if you sold Oklo into this topping tail at 73.50, just corrected, looks like it's turning up, got above the 8-day, and if that's and if you got long and made some money, congratulations, there you go. So there's still things that you can manage, things you could do. It all depends on how active you want to be. It's July 8th. I hope you're having a good summer. This is a time to relax, go to the beach, go to the mountains, do whatever you're going to do some fitness. If you're in your seat, though, just don't overtrade. Just know what's happening. Just know where we're at and know the type of market and know what we're looking to hear. Right now, by tomorrow, we're going to get some more letters on, what countries are going to have the 10% tariff, what might be 25, what might be more. Maybe he got some of the tough ones out of the way to bring things down, and now he has a few easy ones. We'll see. SMCI is kind of wishy-washy, to be honest, but it's holding here, I guess you could say, as long as SMCI holds this 46 area. It's fine. I don't know if fine is the new special, meaning fine. You could be in something that's fine. I like to be in things that are special. And, right now I want to make sure that they're only special names. So this way I'm not giving anything back. As of Monday at the end of the quarter, I was at the highs of my year. A lot of people on the Alpha team were all at the highs of their year. We had a really nice move in a lot of different names, even Apple. Apple, we caught a fantastic trade starting here a week ago, got long the 205 calls, was long the stock, and made 300-400% in the Apple options, and then yesterday got rid of the rest of it on this loose and wide action. And now, hey, if Apple could prove to hold this and go sideways, you know what? Maybe I'll rebuy Apple for a trade. Palantir looks a little bit better. Palantir, they sold it. It was a big winner for the second quarter. So just like most things, they kind of sold it down, because you're allowed to take profits, right? It broke this small ascending channel. It's kind of rebuilding here. So if you're long versus 128.50, cool. It has some room into this spot if it wants it. I would just take some trades there. If you've been an investor in Palantir for the last year, you've made hopefully millions of dollars or whatever that means to you. It's been a monster. What does Mr. look like? Well, Mr. It's going to depend on what Bitcoin does. Obviously, Bitcoin, I thought it was going to have a crypto July 4th weekend, and it didn't. So we'll see. I'm still in IBIT. I have some options. I have a feeling I'm going to run out of time. The question is, do I want to go further out or not? We'll see. If you go to Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin, oh, look at that. Not so bad. That's cool. I still have IBIT. I have IBIT calls. Bitcoin looks pretty good. Look at that. Held right here. Held in there. So maybe, if Bitcoin can get above this 110, there's still a chance that it has a nice momentum move. Overall, it looks good. So if Bitcoin looks good, that means Mr. is going to look better. It went to what, 414.60. So if it gets above 414.60, then there's 430, and then this was the highs. So Bitcoin, this is looking pretty good. Coin's looking pretty good. Coin, remember this 263. A lot of guys made really good money when it went through 263. Then they added through 270, and 351 was the pivot. Went as high as what? Went as high as 382. Wow, that's a nice move. People have been frustrated with coin for so long, and then the one thing you don't want to do, which again, you talk about that 1 second, all of a sudden, months ago, if you were in coin and it didn't work, where it didn't right here. I remember this spot, everyone thought it was going to work and then failed right there. And then it had a corrective phase. And then, if you're like, oh, well, it failed here, it got me, I thought it was going to go, and you didn't get back involved there. It just wasn't ready to go. This is December. And this is June, 2 different times in life. Sometimes stocks need more time to build. Stocks need more time to base. They need more time to prove themselves. Anyway, quantum. So Tony Stanks likes RGTI. Okay, the stock's been looking better. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Above the moving averages, had a nice igniting bar. I like it. That looks pretty good. IONQ, we got to see how that goes after that. Whatever they did some kind of money raise deal, this, that. I was long it coming into yesterday. That helped my morning. Looks pretty good. I'm in QBTS still. Looks all right too. So there's, some names look all right. And if that's a name that you've been massaging and buying a dip and adding and going through, that's cool. Quantum has, I think Quantum has runway. It does. ASTS is still building, to be honest. It held this 44 area. I'm in it still. A lot of guys made a lot of money here. Again, this was one of those things where you had to prove endurance. You had to prove mental resilience to go back to the trade. A lot of people thought this was going to get to 45.50 here and it didn't. Guess when it went? It went in May. If you tried it here, got away from it, and said, I'm putting this stock on the do not touch list, it's so frustrating, and didn't go back here, you missed out on a lot. So now the question is, can we hold 44, and will it start to make a new move? I'm in there. I think it's pretty damn good. Space Specialist reposted this stream. All right. What's up, Space Specialist? I love your attitude. I'll be honest. Some guys on this stream are awesome. I love the positive attitude. I love the camaraderie. I love sharing information. That's what we do with the Alpha Team. The Alpha Team, we wake up every morning, listen to music like this, as we roll through about 40 charts and I post them there versus listening to CNBC and Bloomberg and Fox Business and all the people who play traders on TV. I'd rather relax. I'd rather keep my routine positive where it's fun for me. I like to drink my iced coffee. I like to do my charts. I like to talk to my people. And I like to do the 630 Club. And, if you've been on the 630 Club since 2020, it's been 5 years. I've been giving you guys a lot of good information, all that I can. Maybe you want to subscribe to Red Dog Mindset. It's $10 a month. And, we do other things. We do whiteboard weekends. We do workouts. We do things to get you thinking straight. And at some point in the fall, the 630 Club and 2520 is going to merge. So if you want to grandfather yourself in, and I've provided you some value, you might want to grandfather yourself in for $10 a month. But anyway, with that being said, Tony Stanks, there you go. Am I going to Marbella this summer? I am not. Actually, it's awesome about the crew too. So I went to Spain. Was 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago or was it a year ago? And my buddy Marco, who's been part of the Alpha Team, who's been part of my community that has done very well, he's like, hey, come to Spain. I'll host you. I've been hosting people. We went to Marbella. We went to, he took me to where all the monkeys were. We went on the big hike. We had meals. I've introduced me to his family. And that's what life's about. It's meeting people from around the world, having shared experiences. So, you do get a lot of good things out of social media and the world versus just the negative, the banter, the things I block people for, every few days. But anyway, with that being said, thank you very much. Right now, I'm in a little time where Conrad, who's my guy, is on vacation because I was supposed to be in Israel. So we're not doing a 2520 this week. This week's Red Dog in the Raw, where I'm going to give a little raw message from the sauna every day to hopefully make you think, and, we did that this morning also, and that happened about an hour ago. So right now it's 6:49. What have I done so far? I trimmed actually a tiny bit in the video. The video's up $138. I added a little bit. I have 160 calls on that I put on yesterday to roll them higher. I actually trimmed a little Amazon, and I'm just trimming it. Whenever it gaps in my favor, I trim a little bit, and then if it looks really good, I add more once I see the complexion of the day. Suni Joshi, thanks for your service over the years. Come on now, this is not my service. You want to thank someone for their service, thank a military vet. Thank my dad, he's a Vietnam vet. Thank someone who was, in Afghanistan. Thank someone who went and friggin' killed Osama bin Laden. Me, this isn't a service. This is a community where we're in this together. And I do like to add value. What I have been doing, though, is I've been picking up a piece of garbage. I've been picking up one piece of garbage every single day for the last 5 years, usually in the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot. People look at me funny. But if you could pick up one piece of garbage a day and everyone picks up one piece of garbage a day, you can't control who's putting that garbage on the ground, but you could add value to your community around you. I don't know. I think it's a good thing to do. But anyway, I'm not fasting this week. You're doing a 48-hour fast. Good for you, John. You're developing your go time. So John's doing a 48-hour fast to prove that he can. That builds mental toughness. You could all build mental toughness different ways. I actually did a nice 40-hour plus fast last week. This week I just couldn't do it. I'm heading to, Chase is playing AU basketball in Atlantic City Wednesday through Friday. Then I'm picking them up, bringing them to Spooky Nook this weekend. It's the live period for colleges. So I don't have, the exact, formula to control everything I got to do. But I did get some new creatine gummies, which I like. So if I have to substitute meals, I could do that. And all is well. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. So far, it's an easy morning, which is nice. I cleaned up a few loose longs and I added to ones that were working more. And I will see how it goes. I still like this ASTS. I think it holds 44 and at some point takes out 54. I just don't know how long that's going to take. Like I said before, I still think Amazon could work its way towards 228-ish or above. Yesterday, NVIDIA showed nice relative strength. Didn't even get to the 8-day, so that was a good add. And, just take it day by day. Keep stacking wins and keep proving to yourself that, you could do this job no matter what the conditions are, that you can control that 1 second, because sometimes all you have is that 1 second. And the way you control that 1 second is by being able to control your mind. And how do you control your mind? It's up to you on figuring that out. I appreciate you, my dogs. I'll see you tomorrow. Or I'll see you on the Alpha team right over here as we go through our 40 charts and trade together all day long.